You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Be dialing, people. It is Angry Tensai and the Big Dick. I never will forget the day we met. Dick, I'm gonna miss you, baby. How you doing, Dick?
Brother. I am doing well. We have the Christmas spirit amongst us, not the holiday spirit. We do not know what the holiday spirit is. We know what the Christmas spirit is, and we have it here at AngryMarks.com.
Here on Angry Parks, we celebrate Christmas. We want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, specifically Merry Christmas. It's all about Christmas here on Angry Marks. Nothing else but Christmas. We love Christmas. We love trees. We love all things. I don't know. I mean, what else Christmas can you think of? I mean,
I got one more thing that sort of blew my mind. This past week, I stopped at a Starbucks, and they wished me a happy holidays.
Why did they do that?
I don't know, but the person who wished me happy holidays was laying unconscious on the floor after about 5 seconds after I clean clocked them. I mean, it was completely unacceptable. I was completely offended, and I'm actually having a Christmas Matters rally.
Yeah, Christmas does that. There's 3 songs.
I'm having a rally. My feelings have been hurt, so I'm having a rally this weekend.
I hear him. Dude, what about rocking around the Christmas tree? Or,
dude,
we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Or, it's a tragedy for me to think that this Christmas is over and I never will forget the day we met. Big Dick, I'm gonna miss you. Just saying.
All magical lyrics. But my friend, I am full chub right now to talk about Raw.
Oh yeah. Well, Dick, you know it's true. Dick. Ooh, I love you. Dick, you know it's true. Dick. Dude, this is the shit people want for Christmas. You know, you hear us talk seriously about wrestling 51 weeks of the year, but this week, this is the Christmas episode. You know, you got to be in the spirit. People, you got to get in the spirit, people. You got to get in the fucking spirit, okay? I'm serious, Dick. You got to get in the spirit.
Dude, it is the holiday season. It's not the Christmas season, my friend. And I think all of our many millions and millions of loyal listeners understand that it is the holiday season for presents.
Do you know who's in the spirit? Steve Harvey is in the spirit.
Wow. For those of us who have been living under a shell for the last 12 hours, please elaborate.
Well, Steve Harvey is a hero, for sure. There's nobody that would argue that. Steve Harvey hosted the Miss Universe contest. And I'll lay this out. I want to lay this out for everybody. And Miss Universe had actually, and I kid you not, had very, very high production value. I mean, it was very well done. And a beautiful, beautiful woman who looked like, seriously, like a 20-year-old Sofia Vergara, whatever her name is. Beautiful Colombian woman, gorgeous, is announced as the winner of Miss Universe. Seems pretty logical. And
okay, I'm buying it.
She goes out for 2 minutes, gets the crown, looks like Miss Universe to me. She's one of the hottest girls I've ever seen. And Steve Harvey comes stumbling on stage. Folks, I'm sorry. I have to stop this. And you're thinking like, oh, this could be some stupid joke. Why are they sending him back out? And he's like, there was a mistake on the cards. Miss Columbia is the runner-up. The winner and truly Miss Universe, and you can see it here on the card, is Miss Philippines. I apologize for the error. This is my error. Philippines, you are Miss Universe. Philippines comes up to win the trophy, or the crown. Miss Philippines literally looks like any woman that would be working in a call center, by the way. Let me just throw that out there. And
wow.
6'1" midget takes the crown from this beautiful 6 foot tall Colombian queen. And Steve Harvey then goes on to apologize again and then says, folks, please don't take it out on the women. This is not the women's fault. No, it's your fault, idiot. Wow. I've never seen like
I just hope that nobody takes it out on the ratings of Family Feud, because, I mean, that show has taken it up the ass for the last decade when Steve Harvey was on it. So I'm thinking that that might be the next logical victim there.
I can't believe it. Initially, I thought they did it purposely to bring interest to Miss Universe. Kev, did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
Have you heard about it?
I've heard all about it. And the memes are out everywhere, such as a face of Steve Harvey with, Happy Friday, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Monday. It's Monday.
What do you think about that, just hearing that?
Wow. What a huge botch. I don't know. What would Mike Adamle have to say about this?
Do you think that's one of the biggest botches in TV history? I think it is.
I think it has to be. It's certainly, it probably is the top one of the 21st century so far.
You know what I like about these contests, though, Vic and Kev, is like Miss Universe has this botch, and then Miss America has the Carolina woman that said, what could she do to improve the world? Well, many U.S. Americans don't have maps, and in countries such as U.S. Americans, if they had maps, they could know where things are, like Saudi Arabia, such as. That was another great moment in these illustrious events. So I'm very proud of Miss Universe. So very good, very good. So tonight, speaking of awards, we have the Slammy Awards, and there actually was a little Steve Harvey moment with Paige and Nikki Bella. I don't know if you guys caught that. Did you catch that, Big Dick?
Interesting. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I guess Nikki Bella being back on TV is a good thing, whether it be Woman of the Year or Diva of the Year. Man, I think Nikki Bella is welcomed on TV, and we need her back. I think right now we have the Charlotte versus Becky Lynch feud brewing, but I think Nikki Bella is a welcome champion to be back on TV. What do you think? Do you hear that? Kev, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Beautiful musings of sleep. The sleepy host. What would happen if two hosts fell asleep on the air at the same time?
The show would be ending very quickly.
Has that ever happened in your knowledge? Has that ever happened where two hosts have talked to each other in sleep?
This is the only show where I've ever had a host fall asleep.
Well, let me ask you this, Kev. You've been with us about 2 years now. And year one, nobody came close to going to sleep. But it seems like the sleep thing has become more common. Do you think it's just we're getting older and we're the oldest hosts?
Yeah, but still.
Doomed, man.
Vic!
This is not our best work.
Well, granted, I know it's the Slammies episode, but for fuck's sake.
You know what's beautiful about this, Kev?
What?
You get the new Raw reaction with Angry Tensai and Rob the Many.
Oh, this is horrible. We gotta kick him off. Seth Draken, if you're out there, call in and save this show.
We need Seth Draken. My God, we need. Let me tell you something. Seth Draken makes Impact Implosion sound good, or an Impact sound good. I'd love to have him on Raw here tonight. We could use you, Seth. We can use you, buddy. See, I'm telling you, man. That's how you know you have a good host. Seth Draken makes Impact sound like $1 million. If you could make that shit sound good, I'm sold. I hear myself an echo in the back. This show is doomed tonight.
Don't worry, it's not doomed. I'm here.
Thank God.
I did not watch Raw, but I'm here to save the show.
Seth, I have to ask you, did you hear what just happened to Big Vic?
I already fell asleep. Assuming it's the Slammies, I'm sure that probably was warranted.
So Seth, you and Mike Poland have done many shows over the years. Have you guys ever fell asleep on the show?
Well, the last Impact, even though Mike has not seen it, or we haven't done the show yet, but the last Impact show, I really didn't. It's a show that I couldn't even give a grade to with how little care they gave to the show.
Well, that's not good. I'll tell you this. One time I was filling in with you guys as a third host on the Impact Implosion, and I was only doing like a little bit of color here and there, and I actually fell asleep probably for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I chimed back in after I woke up.
Yeah, it happens, especially this late at night, and especially when we normally do Impact Implosion.
I know, and usually Impact Implosion back in the day had to wait behind Ciara and Stevie, who would go on until about midnight, and then ask you guys to do Impact Implosion.
Which was fine. Depends on the day. I couldn't do it now because sometimes at work, I have to be up at 6 in the morning and have to get there at 8.
God bless you, Seth Draken.
Yeah.
Well, we have a bunch of awards, a bunch of things that happened tonight at the Slammies.
I heard the Steve Harvey one, and I can only assume they did the R-Truth thing with being Steve Harvey is because he's black.
Oh, man.
Well, that and R-Truth's an idiot, too, so.
Yeah, there was some of that type. That was the Nikki Bella piece. But, one of the first award they gave out tonight was the Breakout Superstar of the Year award. And they gave it to Neville, which, listen, I love Neville. I think he's great. But, Kevin Owens came out to confront them and basically said it's crap and you shouldn't have
won. It absolutely is.
I mean, we all know that.
Kevin Steen should have won, but you got to remember this show is a mark show. The people voting are complete and utter marks. I hate to say that, but it's true. The Usos winning Tag Team of the Year. Yeah, you know you're watching a Mark show.
Don't the Marks love Kevin Owens?
No, that's the Smarks. The Smart Marks.
The Marks and the Smarks love Kevin Owens.
No, the Marks like anyone who's the face.
Well, just as a reminder, the voting act on this is actually real. Backstage writers have confirmed that the votes are real. Vince McMahon actually believes in the real vote. Now, granted, he'll kind of write things into the show and manipulate things a little to try to sweeten the pot and ensure that fans will vote a certain way. But whatever the fans actually vote on the app is what actually happens. So all the results are true and absolutely reliable.
Well, you got to remember, the app is only done by real marks. I don't think Smarks do that stuff anymore. I think Smarks mostly just have the network. We don't want the app.
So wait, what's the difference between the Marks and the Smarks?
The Smart Marks are the people who are not the casual audience. They are the people who will believe anything, who love Roman Reigns. Well, so most of them.
Mark, man.
Well, not just they love Roman Reigns. They will believe anything WWE says or does.
I'm a Mark. I'm a Mark, dude. You know me. I am a Mark, right?
No, not that. But you're actually a little smarter. You're a Mark, but you're kind of smarter than Well, actually, to be fair, the Smarks like to be the people who like to know the insides of the business.
You mean like it's still real to me, damn it?
Well, to know the corruption, or not corruption, but the behind the scenes, who's picked to win, and all that stuff. The people who read the spoilers.
I honestly, I'm a Mark. I love WWE, and I always support their product. But I don't care who you are. You have to know Kevin Owens is the best thing to happen at WWE in a long time. I mean, dude,
He ain't a face.
I wanted to hate Kevin Owens. You know that.
I absolutely know you wanted Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens does not have the look, and that's Neville winning. You know that was going to happen.
It's too bad because Owens keeps me coming back, man. Like, honestly, every week I love watching to see what Kevin Owens is going to do.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that the WWE backstage knows that too. That he's better than Neville. He's the one that's getting more pushed than Neville is.
Yeah, it looks like even though they had that little that tease with Neville tonight, Ziggler came out pretty right after, and Owens talked about, well, how you probably win washed up superstar of the year, which is pretty funny. But Owens went over Ziggler tonight fairly clean. I do feel like Ziggler is going to assert himself into a triangle match of some sort with
washed up superstar of the year. That should have gone to Tommy Dreamer.
The fact Dreamer was able to get another paycheck out of WWE blows me.
Yeah.
But Ziggler went down to Owens tonight, and you know I have a feeling Owens, Ziggler, and Ambrose are headed to some kind of three-way match. What do you think?
The probability of that is very likely, and I think Ziggler's going to be the one taking the pin to Ambrose.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. Yeah, that was a good match, though. I mean,
unless they are considering doing Ambrose and Owens at WrestleMania, which in that case you do Owens stealing the pin from Ambrose and have the champ never get pinned.
Well, they did that last year, so hopefully they don't go that path again. Would you have Steve Harvey on WrestleMania this year?
I don't know if he's a wrestling fan or not, so I wouldn't want anyone who's not a wrestling fan on these shows. If you're not a wrestling fan, don't go.
Do you think his career's over?
No. I actually like him on Family Feud, and actually a lot of people like him on Family Feud. ABC did a thing where he was doing Celebrity Family Feud.
So you think he can recover from this?
Yeah. He's going to get the butt of jokes. They've already explained what happened. It wasn't the teleprompter said one thing and the card said another.
Let me ask you this question. Did you see the YouTube video?
Absolutely.
Would you agree that Miss Columbia was one of the hottest women out there?
I absolutely don't really care about attractiveness, and I'm sure it doesn't really matter about it's so fixed. I think Miss USA is so fixed, so
I hear you. Well, R-Truth is the new Steve Harvey, I guess, in WWE.
Well, he's always been the guy who makes goof ups. The guy who likes to goof on.
I hated this Raw, and I loved last week so much. This Raw was just shit.
I absolutely knew, and I was like, I read it was a Slammy show, and I'm like, you know, this is not the show you want Roman Reigns' title reign to start off on.
Well,
because it's not remember RVD's title reign in TNA? That was terrible, by the way, but the first show they had as his title reign was a taped show. That nothing happened on that taped show. And it got the lowest ratings on TNA. And absolutely convinced them to move to back to Thursdays.
Right. Well, here's my thing. If you hear me saying Milli Vanilli at length to Big Dick on the air, you know your Raw wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Now, are you a big Milli Vanilli fan?
Not really. I was pretty much never into their music. I think they had already been exposed by the time I was really listening to music.
Why are people so against what they did?
I guess it's just I guess it's just the way that it happened and everything, and that it's too pretty getting the talent. People see it as only because they're good looking and stuff, they get the world.
I hear you. Well, I know
honestly, I don't blame Milli Vanilli for the whole thing. I do blame the record producer.
They took advantage of the situation.
Well, yeah, Milli Vanilli, it's their producer. It's always their producer who, and if Milli Vanilli didn't take the role, those two guys didn't take the role, somebody else would.
Somebody else would have stepped up and been the new Milli Vanilli.
Would have been Milli Vanilli instead, so, yeah.
Those guys, those guys rode high, man. They, to quote Dusty Rhodes, what was he dined with kings and queens, but yet ate in alleys with pork and beans, or what the fuck it was.
I ate and dined with kings and queens, and I dined, I fixed something, not pork and beans. I forgot too,
something about pork and beans.
But yeah, I wined and dined in kings and queens, and god damn it, it's wined and dined, or...
I have wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've sat in back alleys eating pork and beans.
Oh, so that's what it is. Okay.
Or how about you want to know what hard times is? Hard times, daddy, is when you worked at a plant for 25 years and they hand you a gold watch and they kick you out on your ass and they say you've been replaced by a computer, daddy. Those are some hard times.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes was great. He may have been a little egotistical backstage and may not have been not been the greatest. Okay, I can't say he was. He may not have been the greatest wrestler in the world. He was good. Was absolutely good in the ring. I mean, technically he wasn't great, but as far as absolute could steal the show match, yeah, he had charisma.
I'm gonna tell you something. Killer Kev is gonna be replaced by a computer, daddy.
We're all gonna be replaced by computers.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, what people don't realize about VOC Nation is it's actually all computerized. There's no people on VOC Nation. None.
This is actually true. I actually just found out this past week that on VOC Nation, Brady Hicks has been replaced by Shockwave the robot. He's not even announcing an ECWA anymore. It's Shockwave doing the duties now.
What's the difference between Shockwave and Soundwave?
Well, Soundwave's a transformer that can...
Soundwave is the cassette player, and Shockwave, he's fully upgraded to MP3.
Shockwave?
Yep.
No, not Shockwave Shockwave the wrestling robot. Have you not seen this?
What's Shockwave?
Shockwave the wrestling robot. You go look it up after the show.
Yeah.
What, is he good?
He's incredible.
Do the Marks like him?
Love it. One of the best indie gimmick since El Generico.
The best indie gimmick ever is Starman.
Better than Starman.
Starman was a video game character last I checked.
Yes, and a professional wrestler.
They converted. Oh. Did you hear about that?
You didn't know that?
I did not know Starman was an actual wrestler.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Go Google that after the show. We need to get this show done.
Starman, the gimmick wrestler, basically is literally a duplicate of NES's Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that's absolutely great.
But he's come to life. Yeah, it's really
that's
funny.
Great. I think they should bring the Amazon in. Have someone with the Amazon.
His moveset for Starman is the exact same moveset. It's insane.
Oh, great. But yeah, Kev, let's get back to the show.
Bray Wyatt took on Kane, which was a schmoz, and led to the Wyatts taking on Kane and the Dudley Boys and Tommy Dreamer. This is continuing this feud.
Oh, so they got rid of Rhino.
They did get rid of Rhino already. New Rhino, because Kane was in ECW.
Yep, I remember him as their champ.
The Wyatts win
this. Guerrero in 13 seconds.
The Wyatts win this thing. And my question is, how many times do we need to see ECW come back?
You know what? ECW revivals have been around longer than ECW existed. That's absolutely true.
Well, why does everyone want, or do they want, ECW revivals?
Because ECW was that indie promotion that could.
NXT
absolutely had a gimmick.
NXT is amazing.
Why don't we have AWA revivals?
Because AWA did not have anything that could separate it from anything else.
I know we've had several promotions that attempted to pretty much blatantly rip off the AWA and its legacy, but there's no revival shows.
No, that's the thing. There's no WCW revival shows.
There could be an AWA revival show. Just get me and Mike Enos, Wayne Bloom, and Nick Bockwinkel, and you can do it.
Nick Bockwinkel's passed.
Oh shit!
He died like last month, dude. Wow.
Get Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, I know, but honestly, it's ECW had a different gimmick, so that's why it gets all these replays.
What about NWA revival? You have NWA Junior Champion Ricky Morton.
Well, and you don't need an NWA revival. NWA is alive and kicking.
Yeah, it's still live.
Hold on a second. NWA is alive, but I would not say it's still kicking.
Oh, it's still kicking. As a matter of fact, you missed a kick-ass match yesterday.
It's not kicking. It's draggling on.
You gives a shit about the NWA. It's not the real NWA.
It is to the real NWA.
Let me tell you something. Let me go here. You know what? If you're gonna call it the real NWA, who's beating Ric Flair? Because in 1993, he never lost the NWA title. So until one of those pieces of shit beats the Nature Boy Ric Flair, it's not the real NWA.
Nature Boy Ric Flair walked away from that title.
He never lost it.
It's okay, but he walked away. He walked away.
And then line him up. Somebody got the belt off him.
And you know the funny thing is, nobody ever beat Dan Severn for that NWA title. They just took it off him so they could do NWA TNA and crown Ken Shamrock the champion.
But it doesn't matter.
Even though Dan Severn versus Ken Shamrock would have been a kick-ass feud.
Flair is the champion until someone beats Flair. Same thing with Barry Windham in the U.S. title. No one ever got it off.
Hold up. Seth?
Yeah?
Did you not listen to this past Tuesday night's episode of the Undisputed Wrestling Show?
No, I did not.
We had Dan Severn on.
And what he said?
What he said was that coming up in 2016, they're going to fix that situation between him and Ken.
God. I know they're going to do Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie.
And then it's going to be Ken Shamrock against the Beast, Dan Severn.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Dan Severn. I'm sorry to Ken Shamrock, and I'm sorry to Hoist Gracie. MMA, that's past, you guys.
Who wants to see Shamrock after he lost to Kimbo?
Apparently people, because Bellator's putting it on.
Hey, Kimbo's still a good name.
But no,
okay, fighter.
I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see Kimbo, even though he's
come on, he's Kimbo.
But he shouldn't have fought Shamrock. He didn't deserve that match.
Maybe I don't think Shamrock at that point was just done.
But speaking of Undisputed Wrestling Show and speaking of NWA, also if you were listening to last week's episode, you heard one of our co-hosts, one of our members of the Angry Marks community, the NWA Continental Champion, the Morningstar Will Huckabee, and the NWA Pacific Northwest Champion Bad Blood get into it live on the air.
Oh, Bad Blood.
And they settled their differences this past Sunday night in a match in Portland, Oregon.
Huh.
Yes. So that was ECW. Hopefully this feud's over. I agree with Ian Clark on that one. My God, ECW sucks. You know what?
It'll never be over. They will always bring ECW back.
ECW
until every one of their wrestlers is dead, and then they will try new ECW.
You know, I was a little surprised by this ending. I really like Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger feuding. I liked it the first time, and I like it this time. Del Rio beats Swagger, and for some reason, the League of Nations decide to beat the shit out of Swagger after the match, on top of the fact that Del Rio beat Swagger clean. But, I don't know, I like Del Rio versus Swagger.
I think the problem is the Swagger has been killed over the long, so it's this pointless feud. It's just filler feud. You absolutely know it's a filler feud that nobody can take Jack Swagger seriously.
The fans like him.
What?
The fans seem to like Swagger.
They're always going to like that saying, "We the people."
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because I'm a Mark.
Everyone loves the "We the people." Even smart Marks to go, "We the people's cool." It was cool, but honestly, and that's all Jack Swagger has that keeps him going is that idea. That's why they put him in these stupid feuds with foreigners, where the foreigner always gets available, because They can beat the American hero, man.
John Cena won the Hero in All of Us award.
Of course he did. He's
What is
John
that?
Cena.
What is the Hero in Us award?
I have no freaking clue.
Mark Henry presented it.
I have no freaking clue.
His music said someone was going to get their ass kicked, but no one got their ass kicked.
No one got their wig split.
He won that. You know who got surprise return of the year?
Who?
Sting, your man. Own.
I'm sorry. If Sting, I don't think Sting should ever wrestle again.
What do you think about
And
Sting?
I don't think he will.
Well, that's my question. What do you think of Sting's run?
What? I didn't. They butchered it. Although we knew it was going to happen, but even as bad as we did not expect them to do as bad as they did. Where Triple H beats him at Mania. That was like so stupid.
Who would you
you have him face Big Show on a Raw to give him one win, and then you have him lose and break his neck against Seth Rollins.
Who would you have win, Sting or Will Huckabee?
I don't know Will Huckabee enough to make that decision.
Yeah, Kev used to hang out with Will Huckabee down in Kentucky. You know, kind of an inappropriate relationship. That's what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know him enough. If I don't know people enough, I'm not gonna decide on who they book. How to book.
Yeah, I hear ya. How about our very own Jordan Garber? He's a referee now. Did you hear about that?
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, man. And with Mike Poland, he's an announcer.
Well,
is that still happening, by the way?
Yeah, he still does that.
Why are you chiming in, bro? I didn't ask you.
I'm sorry, I thought you were asking me.
You
he probably know that answer more than I would.
Poland's your brother, man. You need to know that.
Dude, that was a botch where someone said we were the Draken brothers, and we freaking went with it. It's like I went in TNA when Rob Van Dam was TNA, because I slurred the words of 5-star frog splash, and I basically slurred it to 5-star frog legs.
Dude, when you guys were the Draken brothers, man, that was the coolest thing ever, man.
There's a bunch of things we laugh at sometimes, like, of course, Claire Lynch.
Dude, you know what? The Raw Reaction needs us. Claire Lynch is the greatest storyline in wrestling history. Would you agree?
It was the most aborted, oh dear God, what did they do?
Did they get the worst actress you've ever seen?
Yes. I will agree with that, yes.
Let me ask you a trivia question about the woman who played Claire Lynch. What was her main character she played at Universal Studios?
She was Olive Oil.
Yes!
I know that.
I know that.
Yeah, I absolutely know that she was Olive Oil, and Universal Studios supposedly got pissed.
Why?
Because they didn't want their employee work at such a seedy character.
Well, is it Olive Oil?
Reputation, man.
Wouldn't you say Olive Oil is equally as seedy?
I would, but I'm not Universal Studios or cartoon people.
There's only one thing seedier than being Olive Oil. Working here at Angry Marks. You want to know what's seedy?
What?
The Usos going over 3 New Day members in a non-title match. 3 of them. 3 of them.
Of course.
Why?
It's WWE. It's WWE created.
I hated this show, and I love WWE. I gave last week's show a straight up A.
You know what? You're not the only one. Even the hardest critics said last week's show was good. Although the Stephanie segment was good.
You know what tonight's show was? F. F.
It's the Slammy show. It's the show that they don't give a shit about.
I take it back. I give it a D-. You want to know why?
Why?
Not even a D-. I'll give it a D. And you know who they can thank the D to?
Who?
Dean Ambrose. I like the main event.
Who'd he wrestle?
Sheamus.
Ah.
Cage. It was actually a really good match.
Okay.
So they honestly, I want to give the show an F, but I have too much respect to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, that's understandable. Give it a D minus. You'd probably, I mean, unless he absolutely had a 5-star match or a 4-star match there, you give it D minus.
No match with Sheamus in it will ever get 4 or 5 stars.
I know, but so it's a D minus then.
That's another question. Like, what's the value? So, like, they had a great main event tonight, but what's the value of WWE carrying Sheamus? Like, having him?
He's Triple H's friend.
No, I like him, but I know the crowd doesn't. And
that's all he is, Triple H's friend. Triple H likes him. That's all you need to know.
But you can't really do much with him long term.
Oh, no. But he's a big guy and Triple H likes him.
Seth, it's so odd that, I get, they want to, push him and stuff, but, is it really a good idea, seriously, to put the world title on him, even though, he obviously lost at the Reigns, but...
only if you were going to keep it on him for, 2 weeks. Like, when Seth Rollins got injured in Dublin, I would have had Sheamus cash in there. And just, because he's only going to be a 1 to 2 week person. And if Rollins is fine, you have Rollins win back the belt. And if he's not, you have Roman Reigns beat Sheamus.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That makes sense. Okay.
Interesting.
Whoa, it's Big Dick. Dick?
What's going on? Yo.
Are you from Ireland?
I am fresh off the boat.
I knew you were from Ireland because when I look at you, my penis is doubling.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Where the hell have you been? I got my brother, homie, legendary Impact Implosion Zone, Seth Draken on the air. Big Dick, you were nowhere to be found tonight, and you pop up.
You know what? A lot of things pop up when I'm on the air.
Well, guess what, guys? Brie Bella fought Becky Lynch. Who do you guys think won?
Becky. I would hope Becky Lynch wins, but I'm not confident.
Why do you think Becky Lynch won?
I would say I would hope Becky Lynch won. I'm not confident in that.
She actually won and tapped Brie out, no less. Which was
wow.
Because
is Brie enhancement talent now?
Because they're pushing Becky Lynch, Charlotte. That's why they're doing it. That's the only reason.
Brie is enhancement talent. I can't remember the last time Brie won a big match. Brie got the biggest women's match in years at SummerSlam against Stephanie a year plus ago. And ever since she lost that match to Stephanie, Brie has been a straight up jobber.
Her sister's hotter, according to WWE.
Well, I would agree with that, but okay, so Nikki is without a doubt hotter than Brie. She's thicker, she's got more attitude.
She's sexy thick.
She's sexier, yeah, she is sexy thick. But, if I'm running a wrestling federation, Brie Bella is 100 times better of a worker than Nikki Bella, in my opinion.
That sometimes may work against you if you're a great worker, because if you're great at being able to sell to people, to being able to get them over, you're gonna job. Look at Paul Burchill. And Val Venus. That was absolutely their biggest flaw, was that they were able to put people over.
Dude, what you just said is so well said, that being a good worker sometimes, and I'm not making a joke, Benoit, very similar in his WCW career. If you're a good enough worker, as much as I hate to say this shit, because I hate when people say this about the title, if you're that good of a worker, you don't actually need to win to get over because you're such a good worker, which is really effed up if you think about it.
Well, you need to win sometimes, and the sad part is for people, because eventually, yeah, you're worthless.
Well, I mean, look at Crash Holly. He was a great worker and a bumping machine, but
absolutely.
They
gave him the hardcore title so many fucking times.
That was cool, though. He was the king of hardcore.
Yeah.
Remember he had his little hat backwards and he would...
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
I liked Crash.
Yeah. Crash was cool.
You know what's cool about Crash? It actually got Hardcore over even more. Hardcore Holly, that is. Like, he was just like a giant homage to Hardcore Holly.
Oh, I know.
And when they were a tag team and won the titles, that was even better. The Hollies. Oh man, you can't make this shit up.
I think the sad thing was I think what helped Crash was I think he had more of a likable personality than Hardcore Holly.
For sure. They were a good team. I mean, dude, WWE could do no wrong during that period. Everything was over.
If you look back at it, they could do wrong a lot.
I don't think so.
The birthing of a hand.
That was bad. Okay. I like the Nation.
Your PP.
I like the Nation.
Nation of Domination.
Nation on paper, at their finest, was the Big Five: The Rock, Farouk, D'Lo, and Mark Henry. What 5 men can beat that 5 men? Those are 5 of the biggest, baddest dudes ever assembled in one group. I love that group. Oh well.
That is badass. That is particularly badass group.
And with very angry theme music. And very angry theme music. Speaking of
the Nation was over, but the 2 groups that weren't over that they decided to put them against?
DOA and
DOA and the Los Periquas.
Los Periquas sucked.
Oh yeah. One of the worst. Miguel
Perez Jr., Jose Aguilar, something like that.
Miguel something Jr., yeah, he was absolutely the worst wrestler you could.
Miguel Perez Jr., Savio Vega, and there was another one.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but the only reason I remember Miguel was how terrible he was.
It all sucked. I remember they were doing, they had like a Mexico show, WCW had the Luchadors, and there was a luchador in WCW called Super Astro. Astro was this little 4'7" piece of shit that was too tall to be a midget, but too small to be a real wrestler, and he was a fucking piece of garbage. I hate Super Astro. That son of a bitch. I have nightmares about Super Astro till this day. Fucking Super Astro! You piece of shit! You know who else I think is a piece of shit? Viano 4 and 5. I'll never forget when Raven DDT'd Viano 4 into his grave. And then Viano 5 came on Nitro the next week. And Mike today made his big speech. This is a big day for Viano 5. He told us before the show, this is about venganza tonight. For all of you, that means vengeance.
Speaking of Vianos, they had one of the worst matches this year.
Raven proceeded first move to kick Viano 5 in the nuts. Even flow DDT and pin him after all that.
The Vianos actually have really gotten themselves in. I think Viano 3 or 4 retired recently.
They're still around.
Trios match against the Psycho Circus. Absolutely one of the worst matches ever.
Who is Psycho Circus?
Psycho Clown. There were like 3 guys in clown masks.
So they beat Vianos?
No, they faced the Vianos. Vianos won the match. It was absolutely a terrible match.
Why?
You're looking at three guys. One of them is overweight, another one is old as fuck, and the other one's retiring.
Los Vianos should win, though.
Yeah, they won by a low blow and a pinfall.
Are you surprised? Now, if I channel Mike Tenay, Los Vianos in English means the villains.
I know it means the villains, but yeah, it was absolutely a dreadful match. If you ever find it, just avoid it. It is one of the worst matches ever from, what was that? Oh yeah, Triple Mania this year.
Is it worse than LA Park versus La Parka?
I have never seen that match, but, this match is pretty bad. Even Dave Meltzer said it was one of the worst matches he has ever seen in his life.
Let me tell you something. I'd rather I'd rather masturbate to shemale porn while listening to Milli Vanilli than sit through Los Villanos versus Psycho Circus.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, that match was absolutely terrible, and I watched it on their terrible pay-per-view stream. It was one of the funniest things I saw.
Los Perros de Mal.
No, the whole show. Los Perros de Mal was rather sad because you know what happened.
What happened?
Well, Los Perros de Mal, their leader is Perro Aguayo Jr.
Oh, the guy Mysterio killed.
Yeah.
I can't
And
believe
he was going to be was actually, from what everyone knows, from what everyone can see, been told in the behind the scenes, he was supposed to win the title from Alberto El Patron.
Well, from what I was told, Chris Benoit was supposed to beat Johnny Nitro for the ECW title, but unfortunately,
No, he was supposed to beat CM Punk for the ECW title.
Oh, that's right. But
Johnny Nitro was the replacement.
It didn't happen. Benoit didn't win the title because he ran into the Nordic track.
You know what happened with Benoit.
Here comes Chris Benoit, and he's really mad. Here comes Chris Benoit, and he's really angry.
I know. The great kazoos.
It's too bad. The kazoo. Bring on the zoo. You know, it is what it is. Two more things to cover. The WWE Superstar of the Year is Seth Rollins. I think that goes without saying.
Wait, they didn't give it to Roman Reigns?
Seth Rollins, baby.
Well, thank freaking God. That's one unpredictable result. I absolutely had them picking Roman Reigns for that crap.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? The OMG moment of the year was the Salida de Sol by Kalisto on the New Day. That without a doubt was a crazy. Dude,
that was a crazy moment.
Maybe it's just because it's fresh in my mind.
And that does help too.
I don't, honestly, man, that move really stands out. We covered that a couple weeks ago in the show. That moment was so crazy that I was uncomfortable with it. Because I don't think, I thought it was pointless. I thought the risk they took for the match they were in, I didn't like that they took that risk. There was no gain.
Well, you know, sometimes you just want to steal the show.
He did that night. Kalisto, that is.
Yeah, and honestly, if you look at the move now, all Kalisto did was just sit down on the ladder. Well, but then his legs didn't hit the ladder. His legs were spread out.
Yeah, but dude.
It still hurt like a motherfucker.
Well,
but it hurt not as much as you would think. That's fine.
I run around the house chasing my kid, dude, and I fall on the ground and it hurts. I can't imagine.
Like I said, it hurts like a motherfucker.
I can't believe like he can continue on. Like that's just a big spot, man. I don't think it's that bad if it's from the top rope, but from the top of the ladder, that's crazy.
Well, he did sell it after his back hurt, and Xavier Woods was able to hit him with a trombone, and that took him out.
Do you know what Seth Rollins, like we said, was the Superstar of the Year. I think that goes without saying, no, you?
Yes, he was the Superstar of the Year. He was the champion for most of the year. And I kind of see why they picked him now, because he is kind of liked by the fans because he got injured and people miss him. You don't know what you got till it's gone.
WrestleMania 18 Triple H versus Jericho. When he got hurt and came back, won the Royal Rumble, and everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And Hogan and Rock didn't get to headline WrestleMania as a result.
That was stupid, and everyone's admitted since then it was stupid.
If you rebook that WrestleMania 18, you put on Hogan Rock last.
You absolutely would.
Do you have Hogan win?
No, I would not have Hogan win at the time. I would have had The Rock win. You don't know about Hogan. If you would have The Rock win at the time.
I wish Hogan won that match.
It would have fed into Hogan's ego. It would have done no good for Hogan to win that first match.
Well, it makes you wonder but it makes you wonder, like, the fact Rock went over Cena in the first WrestleMania match,
Mm-hmm.
that is kind of a total slap in Hogan's face. Like passing the torch.
Well, it was in Miami.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it kind of like, considering how Rock got to go over Hogan, Cena essentially should have gotten to go over Rock.
In some cases, yeah, but you got to remember, if they did that in Miami, it absolutely was because it was in Miami that Rock went over.
Well,
Cena wasn't going to come out alive. It's the same thing with why Seth Rollins ultimately cashed in, was because Roman Reigns, if he wins that belt, is dead man.
well, I'll say this. Cena may have traded wins with The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares who won the second match. Rock won the first and most important one.
Yeah, only WWE cares.
But no one remembers the second match. People remember how big that first match was. That first match was huge.
Because you already did it. It was supposed to be once in a lifetime match.
And everybody's like, okay, here's our Halloween Havoc, Warrior vs. Hogan. All right, give Cena the title. We're at Halloween Havoc. Here's Warrior. Horace Hogan's in the ring. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Hogan had to get his win back. And nobody gives a shit about the second encounter. Nobody rarely gives a shit about the second encounter.
The Hogan, I'm going to tell you something. To me, and this is as crazy as it sounds, to me, the Hogan Warrior Halloween Havoc made the Hogan loss to Warrior at 6 even greater. It made it more mystical.
Well, it absolutely got Hogan's plan, which was to get his win back, and people didn't care. He wanted people to care that he actually beat Warrior.
But no one did. And no one did. And people now probably would say, that doesn't count. Hogan lost the one that counted.
Yeah. I didn't see it because the pay-per-view cut off.
Davey Boy Smith was too busy jerking off under the ring.
Well, no, what really happened was WCW went over the time limit.
Yeah, that's true.
Of the pay-per-view. So pay-per-view companies cut them off.
It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild.
We can go overrun this pay-per-view. No, you can't. Plug.
So what do you think won match of the year tonight?
If I were a betting man, knowing the match that should have won, out of the nominees was probably, John Cena versus Kevin Owens. Or at least John Cena versus one that should have won, what really should have won, but probably wasn't even nominated, was John Cena versus Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins.
Right.
But that wasn't nominated, I bet. So what won?
The winner was Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
Nope. Sorry. Yeah, the only reason that match ever was mattered because they bladed and WWE lost their shit because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just glad Lesnar won the feud.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that really was Raw tonight. As horrible as that was Raw.
Considering how many times we had to go off topic, that really should tell you about a show.
That was it. I mean, it wasn't really that great. Kev, anything you'd add to the show that you saw?
Well, I didn't see any of it, so.
Oh, okay. Well, then you shouldn't talk then, jabroni.
He's the producer.
We'll talk to you when we think you should talk. Look at how obedient Killer Kev is.
Well, yeah.
He's very obedient, that Killer Kev. Oh, well.
Start fights.
Well, I gotta say, Seth, thanks for coming on tonight, but before we get going, Kev, is there anything you want to plug?
Oh, are you talking to me now?
You may speak.
Oh, I may speak now?
Yeah, you may speak.
Oh, I didn't know I was permitted.
You really are into this BDSM shit, aren't you?
Tomorrow night, Undisputed Wrestling Show, 9 p.m. In the first hour, we have the wise guy, Jimmy Cicero, for the first hour. In the second hour, we have independent wrestler Billy Rock and the tag team of TVZ, Tom and Troy Van Zant. But coming up in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have Ring of Honor star, the unbreakable Michael Elgin. We are going to have a former podcaster from the Angry Marks Podcast Network who now works full-time in the professional wrestling business, the boss, Robert A. Tucker. will be on in the next coming weeks. We are going to have the return of the quintessential stud muffin, Joel Gertner. We're going to have the return of the Star Maker, Kenny Bolin, one of the most outrageous mouths in podcasting right now. We're going to have legendary wrestler Sam Houston, the related, of course, to women's wrestler Rockin' Robin and Jake the Snake Roberts. We're going to have Pitbull Gary Wolf, and we are going to have Matt Classic. You've probably heard of him.
I've absolutely heard of him.
You've probably heard of him, Seth. I believe he is around from your area, so you've most likely heard of him. So check those episodes out of the Undisputed Wrestling Show.
Doesn't Sam Houston bang Precious?
He might have. I don't know.
Let me look that up right now while you entertain the folks.
You want to ask him tomorrow night?
I think I do. Houston.
Stick around in the chat room then.
Who's after Sam Houston? Who else are you talking about?
We've got the Star Maker, Kenny Bolin, coming.
Nice. Who else?
No, Sam Houston was dating Baby Doll.
Oh yeah, Baby Doll Precious, same girl.
Well, not really. I think let me check.
No, that's two different people.
Yeah, but they're both ugly.
Yeah.
You still rubbed one out to both of them. You know you did. Don't even deny it.
No, I stopped music videos on MTV to the moments I liked, and I paused them and jacked. I think we've all been there though. Some of us more so. Hey, listen, guys. I want to thank you guys for getting on the air tonight. It's a good show. Anything you guys want to add?
I have nothing to add. Seth?
Nothing to add either.
Drake, it's an honor having you on, brother. Or Art Raw.
I have no problem saving this show sometimes.
Love you, brother. Great show tonight, guys. Thank you. Kev, take us home, baby.